This is a Headgum podcast.
Extra.
Hey everyone, my name is Kristen Shaw.
Wow,
What?
turned into NPR really
I know.
quickly.
It's something about doing this formally.
I get it.
My name is Kristen Shaw, and today we have the most extraordinary guests on our show, Extraordinarians. I'm talking about the Berington twins, Kristy and Anna, up in Alaska, doing the Iditarods, doing the mushing, doing the best, most amazing
Dog sledding.
Dog sledding. And our conversation blew our minds. I cannot wait for you to hear it. Step out of the world and step into the world.
Wow.
Man, write that down.
To me,
You know what I mean?
I really don't.
I really don't.
But being a twin, that's extraordinary enough. And this is identical twin. None of that fraternal nonsense, okay? These are identical
Nonsense!
twins. And
That's two legs!
Kristen, back from the mic. Lean back from the mic.
You said to get closer.
No, not when you scream.
Okay.
but if you love dogs, if you
Nonsense!
Okay.
That's two embryos! Was that better? Sorry,
So
Matt.
much better.
perfect. But guys, if you love dogs, if you love Alaska,
Who doesn't love dogs?
plenty of people, cats for one.
Okay.
But their story is inspiring,
Very.
and what they are very tough people who do a very difficult thing that they're very passionate about, and it was a great conversation.
It really
Yeah,
was.
that's all the things I just said, but thanks, Matt.
And here we go. Mush.
Ooh, is that what we should ask them what some of the things
Mush.
were.
Actually, there's that overnight oats called mush. Did anybody know this?
Well, there's just the texture of something that's mushy as well.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying they're maybe missing a brand.
I wouldn't mind rebranding our show as Mush.
Mush.
Moving on. Mush.
Hello,
Hi,
ladies.
guys.
Hi.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out. You guys get the official, authentic musher experience because we just got home at 3:30 in the morning after mushing out at Trapper Creek. So you get sleep-deprived mushers in their natural state.
Oh, thank
Whoa.
you. Thank you for staying awake for us.
Wait,
No,
now,
yeah.
tell us what that was. What were you guys just doing for the audience out there? What was last night?
Well, unfortunately, Alaska isn't having much of winter in the south central area where we live, so we have to travel to go find snow. Right now we have mostly ice everywhere in the Matanuska-Susitna Valley where we live. So we traveled about 80 miles north to Petersville, Trapper Creek area to find snow to run dogs in, which sounds absolutely ridiculous when you live in Alaska. So we had to drive 80 miles to do a long run on the dogs and then drive back here and be ready to work on Anna's food drops for Iditarod, which food drops are all the gear and essentials you need to travel 1,000 miles in
Whoa.
a week and a half.
So now, how long have you been doing this officially?
We grew up, our neighbor had sled dogs, so we kind of got the feel for it then. And then we moved up to Alaska in 2007 and have been here ever since. And then started to learn from other mushers about Iditarod. And Kristy ran her first Iditarod in 2010, and she's run it 14 times.
Wow.
And I ran my first one in 2012, and this is my 14th time. And Kristy also ran a race called the Yukon Quest, and that was when it was 1,000 miles. She ran that one as well.
Wait, Kristy, why aren't you doing the Iditarod?
I've thoroughly enjoyed it over the years, and kind of want to do some other things. And support Anna. And it is a very expensive sport. It's not they're animals and we love and care about them. You don't just, throw a cover over them and park them in the garage for the summer.
Yeah.
They need love, care, and attention and exercise and everything, year round, which is another reason why we love the sport. A sports car or a snowmobile doesn't love you back like a dog does.
Oh.
So it's a lot of care and commitment to the team. And we just decided not to raise any more puppies and just kind of keep a smaller scale and just kind of need support Anna for her next Iditarod.
I love that. How many dogs do you guys have now?
35.
35.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
dogs. That's a lot of dogs.
Who's the worst dog? You know there's a bad dog.
A lot of people ask what our favorite dog is, and I always say I don't like to use the F word, ha ha ha. But I've never been asked who the worst dog is. That's like, who's your least favorite child?
Yeah, we all have one.
But you can tell them all apart.
Yeah, by the face and the rear, because we were behind them a lot.
Wow.
Oh. Wait, so now what age of the dogs do they start racing? Like how long do you raise them until you kind of use them in the races?
Well, when we have a litter of puppies at about 6 to 11 months old are their first times in harness. So they're only going like a half a mile to a mile, figuring it out. They do have a very innate sense of what they're supposed to do, just like a retriever wants to retrieve things. A collie wants to herd and control things. They do have that natural born instinct to pull. You just got to harness it right. So they start with training runs and doing that. We run them with a group of experienced dogs so they can kind of see how it works successfully. All good experiences, nice and slow, take it easy. They learn at different rates. Some kids, are quick. They get it. Other ones need a little bit more time. So they won't do their first race till they're about a year and a half old. And that's on the youngest side of things. Not everybody's a Kobe Bryant straight into the pros. Let's go.
Yeah.
Some of them might not do their first race till they're like 3. And that's okay. Oh. So then they will race depending on the dog. Each one has their own like kind of career span and that kind of thing. And depending what your goals are too, if you just want to travel the trail and move along slowly, you can have dogs go with you a long time. But if you're trying to run fast and be super competitive, they might not be able to run with you when they're 10 years old. But you probably won't see a dog in a race that's over 10. So probably about 2 to 10 is their racing career. But just because they're 10 years old doesn't mean that they're done. There's a lot of jobs for them they can do at the kennel, socializing puppies, teaching other puppies. We bring dogs to schools and talk to kids and do demonstrations. So they have a full life of just activities with us, bike joring, canine cross, hiking, and that kind of thing.
What do they get after they win or when they finish a big race? What's their treat?
Cash.
Sled dogs are hard. They're not very food orientated or food driven. Like,
what's that
really?
Like teaching a dog how to sit and you use a treat. When they're young, they're like that. But as they age, I think they kind of expect that food as fuel. So it's hard to use food as a reward and a treat. But they're more like a pack of wolves where they see it essential to eat to keep going.
Yeah.
But like our dogs really like king salmon. I think that's probably their favorite.
Who doesn't?
The racing is probably the reward.
Yeah.
It must feel so good for the dogs to get to run and run and run. We're in a city, so I watch my dog. They don't get that freedom, but what a gift for these dogs.
Yeah. It's amazing to me to get to that starting line in Willow for Iditarod, where the only reason we go to that starting line in Willow is to start a 1,000-mile journey that's going to last about 10 days. Wow. And the veteran dogs, they must know it, that, this isn't over for another week and a half. We're going to run 100 plus miles a day till we get there. And they're still lunging and barking and excited. So they love to do what they do. Yeah, they love to travel. The Huskies love to travel.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Got to take him to Paris. And but so the Iditarod is 1,000 miles and it takes 10 days. Am I wrong about that? Is that about right?
They say it's 1,049 miles long, and they throw the 49 in there to honor Alaska as the 49th state.
I see.
In reality, it's anywhere from 930 to probably 950 miles, and there's a few variants depending on we cross part of the ocean in one part. There's pressure ridges or open leads, or maybe a river isn't frozen, so there's an overland trail that might add miles. So It varies in that way. And as far as duration, it depends how fast you are. The fastest Iditarod was one in just over 8 days.
Wow.
But the very first Iditarod was 1 in 3 weeks. So there's definitely been technology and changes in nutrition and training and the breed of dogs that we race that has evolved it to being much, much faster. Yeah, and the person who comes in very last is called the Red Lantern. And they'll take, these days, they may take as many as 14 days.
Why are they called the Red Lantern?
Oh, just because they're like the last person on the trail carrying the light for the team. And when they get to the finish line, it's kind of like, okay, you can extinguish the lantern now. The last team has arrived. And they actually have a burning lantern there that they get to turn on and thing.
So how many dogs at a time are you racing with and that you have to transport out there?
For Iditarod, you get 16.
Okay. Wow. Oh.
And so you start with that 16. That's all you get. There's no adding dogs later. You can send a dog home, which is called a return dog. And then when you get to a checkpoint, there's a crew of veterinarians, and you would say, you know, maybe this dog, Spade, is, you know, he's tired, or he something like that he's not keeping up with the team. So then the vets take him, and Iditarod has its own Air Force that they will fly that dog to Anchorage, where we have arrangements for a person to pick them up and bring them home.
That does sound expensive. So I want to know about your growing up in this neighbor who has these dogs, and how you guys you're growing up as twins, I think probably from birth. Twins. So I'm not a twin, but it's, you know, everybody wants to feel special. You guys are born as like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's the twins. And then you find this neighbor, and what is that moment for you? How do you like fall in love with this? And I'm just trying to figure out how the twin thing sort of plays into it. I don't know, but I'm curious about that.
Being twins, you like have a best friend built in from the beginning, and Kristy and I get along really well. And there's always someone else to fuel that wild idea or that crazy dream that you might have. So when we watched movies as kids and read stories about the Iditarod, or watched the movie Iron Will, and was like, oh wow, that's so awesome, and would take our dogs for walks pretending that we were racing across the wilderness with them. And then our dad had a friend that had the dogs, and he was like, well, maybe we could go and help out at the kennel, and you could learn some stuff. We would do the chores, you know, cleaning up after the dogs and helping feed and helping train them, and that just fueled all of it. And because we always had a partner in crime, and we kind of told our parents, yeah, we're gonna go to Alaska, they're like, okay,
because you're doing it together.
Whatever we did, it's like, well, if you have a problem, you got somebody who will bail you out.
Right.
So yeah, even our mom, she told us later in life, like, she's like, I was a really bad mom. I would let you guys do things and think like, it's okay if one of the girls falls in the river, the other one will go get help.
Right.
I let you guys do a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have. Yeah, so just having that built-in support person was just awesome.
That's amazing.
And someone who's going to agree with you when you're like, let's do this. The other person's like, yeah, let's do it. Because a lot of people don't have that. They're like, I think I want to race dogs.
We're definitely not that for each other. We're like, stop.
There's nobody around to be like, let's do it. And you guys have that in each other. That's interesting.
So this is probably an ignorant question. So when you're going, and because I think you're standing, correct, for the whole time when you're kind of going and the dogs are pulling you, how many, like during a day, how many times do you break? Or do you kind of, like, what's the kind of process for like a day long until you sleep and then start the next day?
Yeah, you are standing. There is, the sleds these days do have like a tail dragger, or a part where you can sit down to get out of the wind and to do things like you can sit back there, change your socks, put new batteries in your headlamp, eat
check
something.
Instagram.
Yeah. You can do, so you can't sit down, but you're mostly standing, or you're pedaling like a skateboard along with the dogs to help them keep moving, or you get off and run, or we carry ski poles and we're pulling along like when you're skiing just to help propel things. So you're not just sitting back there enjoying the sights, but it is beautiful. And kind of like a loose schedule would be, you run the dogs around, I would say it could be anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. And then you'll take a break and camp them out on the trail for anywhere from, I would say, 4 to 8 hours. Some people do equal running, equal resting. If you're a little bit more competitive, you will do less rest than travel time. But then about every 2 hours, we're stopping and giving the dogs a snack. So they'll get, like, it's almost like a canine power bar. We'll give them a slice of king salmon or beef or chicken or whatever kind of food we're carrying with, just to keep the calories in them and just to check in, see how everybody's doing and that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Do you guys, since it's just you and the dogs, do you find yourself like full on talking to the dogs, like because you have no one else to talk to?
And what voice do you use when you talk to your dog?
And like, do you answer back for them?
I think this is what
we
Kristen would do, and she would.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I think we talk to them most when we're stopped and resting. When we're traveling, we don't really say much because when we're talking to them, it needs to be important. Like, hey, pay attention. There's a turn here, and we use voice commands to steer them. So at checkpoints, I talk to them a lot, and a lot of times I'll tell them what we're going to do, and they can understand some of the human language, and they pick up a little on that. That's great, but it just kind of helps me be confident in my plan and share with them what we're doing. Like, okay, booty you up here in about 20 minutes. We're going to have a little snack and then we're going to go, and it's 60 miles and then this next checkpoint. It's mostly on a river. And I go through this with all the dogs and talk to them.
Yeah. And it's definitely it's personal. Like, when you're talking to them, you might be doing something like, oh, come on, Astro. I mean, you end up talking to them like they're people.
Yeah.
And even though like there is no audible response, like in your head, you kind of feel like you're having that conversation.
Totally.
Yeah, there's a lot of baby voice too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're alone out there. It's you and the dogs, but like that's a lot of solitary time. It's you, nature, and the dogs. Do you feel at peace out there, or do you get lonely, or what are some feelings that go through you in a race like that?
We're trying to get you to cry.
I mean, you feel all the feelings, but it is super peaceful and you're super connected with the team. And it's just a beautiful thing because that's all that matters when you're out there is the dogs. There's no deadlines. There's no emails. There's no cell phones. There's nothing else matters except for you and those dogs. That is it. It doesn't matter. And it's almost, some people feel it's like a vacation to be out there, even though you don't get to sleep much and you're cold a lot and that kind of stuff. But it's that disconnection from everything else, but that pure connection to the dogs. And it can get kind of lonely, but you're never alone because you're with the dogs.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that the best memorable and exciting experiences are when you can experience all 5 senses. And I think that's Iditarod and dog mushing really encompasses experiencing all those 5 senses. And when you start getting into the big city of Nome, which is not very big at all, where the finish line is, and you start to smell smells that you haven't for 10 days, like car exhaust, and it's really pungent, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of people here, and it's too peoply. I just want to go back out on the trail.
Right.
Incredible. What a rewarding experience.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So rare to get to do something like that.
The distance we'll go to get away from Wi-Fi and cell signals. What do you guys understand about dogs that you think like the average dog owner doesn't? Like, you guys spend so much time and use these animals in a way that, or see them in a way that other people don't. Like, what have you learned about them that other people don't know, maybe?
Oh, well, with the Huskies, I mean, you really have a feeling, understanding of how important it is to be like bred for what you're doing. And it's nothing to do with like, oh, well, this one fits the breed conformation standards and the marking's just right. That nothing like that matters. If the dog is like, orange with pink stripes, it doesn't matter. It's all about their performance with that. And then you just really can see the connection you get with them and what they were bred to do and what they want to do. And when you are together with them and pushing and experiencing, you together reach levels of things you thought, wow, that's possible. So I don't know. It's just that whole team effort with them is huge.
And I think humans have essentially disabled dogs that like, oh, I can't go outside with my dog jacket and I need to eat a grain-free food. I think our dogs are very primitive and more like wolves and are demonstrating what dogs can be capable of and what they should be doing, eating, pretty essentially raw meat. I mean, our dogs eat a king salmon from nose to tail, all the bones, all the teeth, everything, versus a pet dog like, oh, that dog's going to get gas and it sleeps with me in the bed. I'm not feeding it that. So our dogs are as close to what a dog should be. It's great. Pets are there to be companions. They're not around to, run 1,000 miles. Our dogs have a totally different schedule than pets.
Yeah, and essentially, there are times you're out there surviving together, and I just don't think a lot of people ever feel that with their pets.
Yeah.
And you put in so much time training them and conditioning them, and you're their everything. You're the one that's, that is their mom, you're their doctor, you're their nutritionist, you're their trainer, their coach, you're just their brother, their sister, the family. So it's just a different connection. It's not a better connection. I mean, companion dogs or any sort of working dog search and rescue or anything like that is incredible, but it's very different.
Do you have cats?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Wait, in addition to kind of that, away from society and that just beautiful detachment, to describe to someone what generates you and like what you absolutely love about this and has kind of given you the longevity in it, how would you describe that? Like why you do what you do?
To raise a dog from a puppy and then to see it be, it learn, and I guess it might be like being a parent, but to go through all that and then you get to the start line, then you do these races with them and see them grow and mature and that kind of thing, and that bond you build together, and that like it is that detachment from everything else and to get out there with them and they are the only thing that matters. You get to be selflessly unselfish.
Yeah.
Well, it's really remarkable what you guys are doing, and to show that like women can do it too, not to make it about the gender, but it is like
Wait, you're women? What?
Inspirational to see you guys do something that's seen like it's really tough and rugged, and that you guys can handle it is really inspirational.
Are there more women out there, or is it just you two?
Oh no, there's quite a few women.
It's a male-dominated sport, but there's a good handful, probably like a third of the field. Maybe
a third of the field are women, and it's great. Mushing there's no classes or categories. It's whoever gets to the finish line first is the winner. We're all on the same course. We all have the same mandatory gear. We all follow the same rules. So it's an even playing field. It's just may the best team win.
Amazing.
I'm so sorry about the snow. That's really sad, guys. That's scary.
It is, especially the 2 previous years were record-setting amounts of snow. And when we started the year in October, we got about almost a foot of snow on Halloween, which was awesome. We thought, oh, great, we're going to get, smashed with another year of snow. But it's kind of all the snow we got. A few storms that gave us, 3-4 inches here and there. And then we got 40-degree days and rain and
my gosh.
Chinook winds, which is a warm wind that blows up, and just the temperatures are just too warm for snow.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're just clear and cold now. We've been clear and cold for like a month now with no additional snow, so it's tough. But at least we can travel to find snow. Alaska's huge and has a lot to offer.
Yeah, I think I was reading one race. It said it got down to like negative 68 or something like that. We read.
It's cold. That's cold.
Is that right? That you were racing?
You guys had to do shallow breaths.
Yeah, like shallow breathing because it was so crazy cold.
Yeah, that was I did around Yukon Quest. We've seen temperatures of over -60, and that's ambient temperature. And then you add on the fact that you're traveling from, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour, and then you're creating this wind chill on top of that. And you get to the point where you don't want to move and puff out any of the warm air you've trapped. So if you look behind you, you can kind of imagine doing it very stiff and robotic. Like your whole body turns to look behind you. Okay, no one's behind me. And
wow.
And it's amazing that the dogs, dogs do have blankets or dog coats that they wear and dog booties and stuff like that when it gets that extreme cold, but they definitely handle it better than people.
Yeah.
Golly. And the gear, I guess, is on another level. Like is there a certain gear for...
You guys have a jacket or something, I hope.
But just to handle those
it's always evolving to try the next latest and the greatest thing. And there's still things we still use, like a fur ruff to break the wind apart around your face as you're going is a really kind of essential piece of gear. And I mean, we're lucky these days we have those chemical hand warmers that you can put, 2 or 3 of those in your mittens and that kind of stuff. But there's just certain things that you need to do without gloves on. And when it's that cold, it's like you do something real quick and then, you put your hands in your pocket, grab those hand warmers and go to do the next thing.
Yeah.
And it is kind of frustrating when you have to mush at those temperatures because you have to wear so much stuff.
Yeah. So then going to the bathroom becomes a project.
Sure,
Getting a drink from your thermos becomes a project.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you guys ever endorse something or invent something sponsor something with, because it feels like you guys would understand what needs to.
Yeah, or like invent something that you definitely think is needed.
Have you ever considered inventing something?
You guys want to go in merch? Are you doing merch?
I'm sure they have merch.
I don't know. Everybody does things a little differently here and there, but then there's also things that go back to like we use these things called Eskimo hooks that are how we connect the dogs to the line, which is basically like a piece of wood or plastic that goes through a hole with a line,
like a button
almost, instead of like, you can use the brass snaps and that kind of thing. Some things just are better. Don't reinvent the wheel. But then other things are like, our sleds have hardly any wood or zero wood on them these days. Everything's carbon fiber, aluminum, high molecular weight plastic, iron rope stuff. So definitely things keep evolving and trying different things. I don't think we've really created or invented anything, but we have sponsors that help us with stuff. But we never would really endorse a product or a thing that we didn't believe in.
Yeah, sure.
I would, but
Exactly.
When you're done with the race, I know I loved what you said about the smells and the senses and everything. What is the one thing when you're back in civilization that you can't wait to eat or drink?
Great question.
Hot shower, I'm sure.
Or what's the most special thing you put in like a beer? I'm just imagining I would have a beer.
Yeah.
For me, it was like fruits and vegetables because out on the trail, we eat things that can freeze, and you're eating like freeze-dried fruit or dried fruit.
You're like astronauts out there.
Yeah, no vegetables. So when you get someplace where you can sit and eat an apple or have a salad and have some vegetables is pretty nice.
Yeah, but definitely, getting a shower and sleeping just to sleep feels nice.
Totally.
Yeah.
So Kristen would want a beer and you'd want an apple. That's interesting.
That is interesting. That says a lot. Well, this podcast is called The Extraordinarians, and you guys are really extraordinary, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. We're nothing without our dogs, though. They're the real heroes.
Yeah, you should have talked to them.
If people want to know more,
you can talk to them.
Yeah.
If people want to know more about you, where can they find you? What's a good place to learn about you guys and your work?
They can go to seeingdoublesled.racing.com, and we're also on Instagram at seeingdoublesled.racing. And you can find Anna or Kristy Berington on Facebook and keep up with all the fun pictures and everything and get to know the dogs and what we have going on. And Iditarod starts March 2nd, Sunday,
Wow.
March 2nd.
It's coming up.
We'll do a ceremonial start in Anchorage March 1st. So lots of stuff happening this rest of this month as we get ready to hit the trail.
Cool.
We'd love to talk to you after the race if you're around. That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
That'd
be
be
thinking
cool.
of you. We'll be cheering you on from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
And be safe. Be safe.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
So, that was really inspiring.
Yeah. I mean,
I love what she said about the senses
Amazing.
and just getting into a space where when she comes back into civilization,
Heightened.
she's like, whoa, that's pungent.
but then she started talking about how people are afraid to give their dogs food that makes them gassy, and it makes me think that the one sense she is detecting while racing the Iditarod is dog farts. She's like, don't be afraid to give your dogs.
Yeah.
And she's absorbing a lot of dog farts behind her.
I know. I would imagine.
I think next time we got to get a camera crew over there to interview the dogs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get a dog reporter.
Their names, I meant to tell them, their names sound
have
so
names.
royal. Barrington sounds very royal to me. I bet they have a lineage we did not get into.
Well, there's major Frozen vibes happening there. I didn't want to get into that with them, but
there was,
Kristy and Anna. I mean,
yeah.
That's true.
yeah.
There's a
I wonder
lot
if they
of
can
work.
sing.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, we forgot to ask.
But very impressive, and that seems so hard.
They're so dedicated too. Like they were saying, like you're right. They can't just throw skis in the shed for the summer. Like they got to keep those dogs running, fed, educated.
I want to kind of see like I meant to ask like how they house them, how they transport them. I mean, they're right. It must be so expensive.
Yeah. But how worth it is it to? I know there's a lot of people who trust their dog more than people who will listen to this right now and think, yeah, I get it. I would be alone with dogs on a trail in nature if I had the chance.
I'm dog sitting one dog, and it's about all I can.
You better what?
That's a big dog too.
Yeah, but they have, what did they say, 35 dogs?
I also meant to tell him I wore my dog sweatshirt
Oh
today.
no, get him back on.
This is my dog Francis.
But they can really tell 35 dogs apart by their
they said
faces and their butts.
and their butts.
and their butts.
I could tell them apart. You can.
Let's get them back, and then we will.
You keep saying
Oh my
I
God.
want to
Oh my
have
God,
pictures of all their butts,
Yes.
the dogs' butts.
Yes, and flashcards.
Yes, and
Yes.
see which one knows more. But we have to get them to photograph their dogs' butts. So
And then that's a little cheating. Maybe we could get like a friend or a husband to
Who's
take the
in
dog.
Anchorage?
great.
Kevin, are you writing all this down?
I'm on it.
This
Okay,
is
great.
really smart.
Fun, inspirational,
I
and
like those
extraordinary.
ladies.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd be friends.
Yeah, you would be friends. I stop talking and I'm like, I gotta work out. Like you just see people that
They're
they're
so
just
fit
so
on these
disciplined.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man,
It's
it takes
true.
a lot for me just to get going to do that.
There is no way they would eat that almond pear fiancierre that
that
I
we just had
housed,
that we had this
that
morning.
we all had.
Yeah.
And the pecan
Yeah.
caramelized muffin, which was delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like they would be eating like some Alaskan oat.
Celery.
Yeah. Have you ever, little off topic, but have you ever, I did a cruise to Alaska. I wanted to tell them about it.
Oh,
Ran out
I
of
probably
time.
kept cutting you off.
I
I
just,
was-
because I kind of know what they're going through in that way.
What shows did you see on the cruise? I'm curious.
I saw some great a cappella.
I bet.
But I
Really?
also saw.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you see some barbershop?
I don't think it was barbershop.
What was the song they were singing that blew you away without
Go.
instruments?
I can't remember. I can't recall. I just recall the vibe, and it was
That's great.
How
vibe.
was the beatboxer?
But I don't. Maybe there was a backing track. Now that I'm thinking, but it was
That's how
beautiful
good he was.
voices. Yeah, but I saw salmon swim upstream, and
Beautiful.
no, it's
Oh.
crazy, and it seems like this is the most inefficient system. That it's proof that God does not exist, because that system
Oh,
is.
let's not get into that. Oh, we are
my
touching on a
gosh.
hot button.
Hi, I'm Will from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and I would like to nominate my college roommate Ethan Joe for the world's best scooter mechanic.
Whoa.
Wow.
Ethan Joe.
Ethan
That's a
Joe.
nice thing to do.
So that is a nice thing. Obviously, it's a friend who's really helped him a lot with.
His
His own
scooter
scooter.
does not work.
I wonder if, yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if this is, slightly sarcastic, because maybe he's the worst scooter mechanic, and this guy's pulling a fast one on him. That's something I'd do.
You would do that to someone?
Yeah, but pretty cool that in college these kids are scooting around.
What
these
kind
days.
of scooter is it though? Because there's like,
There's
are we talking about the birds or like a real scooter? Like,
Just a
non-electronic.
kick-towered scooter.
what do they ride around in Italy? What are those called?
Oh, yeah.
Vespa.
Like, is it a scooter a Vespa? Is a Vespa a scooter?
Oh,
Yeah, I think they are. But I guess what's his roommate's name?
Yeah, what's his name? Ethan Joe. Is Ethan Joe like getting some like parts from Italy to like fix somebody's scooter Vespa?
I don't know.
also, was it a side business?
We will talk to him at the end of this episode.
That's
Can
true.
we get
And
him on the phone? Because I would like to know.
We got a lot of questions.
We are getting him on the phone.
That statement asked more questions than it answered. It was brief, so we'll find out.
Scooter.
I'm putting money on he's bad at them. Is
What?
bad at fixing them. That's my own cynicism.
Okay.
But
Can I just say something?
here we go.
I have to ask permission to talk.
Granted.
Thank you. I will say, I just want to lift up people who can actually do the work of like a mechanic or a
Sure.
handyman or a builder,
Okay.
a plumber.
All right.
Like-
now you're implying that I was disparaging the blue collar
No.
workforce,
There's no
which I
actually.
would never.
Nah, this has nothing to do with you.
Okay, good.
It's just the fact that I feel like more and more we're kind of losing those skills in society. Like,
Yes.
and they're so important. So I am really thrilled.
So you're
about
really
Ernest
rooting
Joe.
that this is not a joke for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen
yeah.
actually, she wrote a song about how much she loves.
Oh,
Can I sing it? Can I sing it?
Please sing this.
I got fixin', I am broken.
Oh,
I
sort of
need a
the church.
mechanic.
Wow.
But there are none because everybody's on their phone and they're thinking about anything else but the real world.
Beautiful.
Everybody's on the phone.
Long
and-
song.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was there a time limit on
That's
art?
a rap.
But mechanics, whenever you enter into a relationship with a mechanic, they hold all the cards because they can tell you
'Cause you don't know
anything.
shit.
No.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to be
yeah.
like, oh, you just got to trust them, you know?
I was like, here's all my money.
Same with locksmiths, too. You just,
Oh my God.
Those people-
scare me because they know they know it.
yeah. I have a locksmith who I've had a years-long relationship with. And the last time he was
Let's get into
over,
that.
he fixes the lock.
Why a
And
year?
he's leaving, and he goes, okay. And then he goes, I love you. And he leaves. And I had to be like, I love you too. Because this guy.
It's a trust.
The only thing that's preventing him and other locksmiths from standing at the foot of your bed in the middle of the night is his desire to not do that, right?
Yeah.
That is true.
They hold all the power. If I was
Yeah.
a locksmith, I would charge so much.
Yeah, they should unionize and
Yeah.
help us out.
When you said, I want to lift up, it sounded like you're about to say prayer.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like-
because of your church head.
Yeah.
hmm
Because of my church head. And then you went into a song about being broken, which was kind of along those lines as well.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to read some scripture?
Yeah.
Because
Who
we
was
can.
Jesus'
I'm just trying to
mechanic,
figure
you
out
know?
how much audience we want to lose and gain.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's an experiment.
It
You know,
is. It is.
Christ
All right.
knew
So
how to
next,
fix
so
things.
next, so
Okay.
soon we're going to be
think
talking to Ethan.
I would just want to say that I am not disparaging it.
It sounds
and I
like
want
it.
to tell Carl Shaw and Pam Shaw at home that I would love for Tony to read the scripture. Please.
Can't
But
wait to
guys-
talk to Ethan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
is this
Can
Ethan?
you hear me at all?
is
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Ethan.
this Ethan?
Ethan
Okay.
Joe.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, folks, we got Ethan on the line. So, Ethan, we've got some great news for you. I would say
Well, introduce yourself
some
first.
medium news. First of all, the medium news is that my name is Matt Oberg, but I'm joined by people who are even more fun to get to know.
I'm Tony Hale.
And I'm Kristen Shaw, but Matt Oberg is very fun.
Have
Very
you watched
fun.
every episode of Fresh Off the Boat? Because but no, Ethan, we're going to tell you why you called here. Tony,
Yeah.
why don't you give him the good
So
news?
you were not recommended, you were
Nominated.
You were nominated by your friend Caleb as the world's best scooter mechanic. Did you know this?
I heard a little snippet that this might be coming.
Okay.
But
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Okay.
And can you explain, is this something you did in college where you fixed a lot of scooters?
so I currently am attending college at SI University.
Congratulations.
But I've been a scooter owner probably about 15 years now.
Uh-huh.
My parents gave me my first scooter when I was like 8, and
That's too young.
that one I actually broke a few years later, and
When you were 10.
we had to get rid of that one,
You couldn't fix
which
it?
was kind of an interesting experience because it was too large for us to put in the municipal waste bin, so we ended up taking a trip to the landfill
That's
to
fun.
dispose of it, and that was it was honestly kind of, for me at the time, I was like 11.
Mm.
It was a dramatic experience because I didn't realize that going underground and just like disappearing forever is what happened to all the things that we threw away.
Sure.
So
You never forget your first trip to the dump. You know, I think for everybody, that's a seminal moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought my second scooter after that with some cash that my grandmother gave me for my birthday.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I said to myself, I'm never going to let this one die.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then,
that's really dear.
So that scooter, actually, I still ride her to and from my college classes every day. And I gave her a complete mechanical rebuild about 2021. So that was when she was 8 years old.
Ethan, is it does it have an engine? Do you sit on it? Or
her, please.
No. So actually, she is a Razor A5 scooter, which essentially is a big adult version of the kids' little kick scooters.
Okay.
Okay.
And so actually everything is completely powered by my feet.
Oh,
and
nice.
That's probably part of why she's lasted so long, is because there's no complicated internal mechanisms to fail.
Essentially, it's a skateboard with a handle. Am I picturing it right?
A skateboard with only 2 wheels and a handle would be a pretty decent way to explain it.
Yeah.
Though being made completely out of aluminum, it's not the same. Not the same look.
Do you have a name for her?
Yes, her name's Phoenix.
Phoenix.
So my 11-year-old self originally named the scooter the Powerful Bunny. Back at the time when it was kind of a joke against all of the other kids in my neighborhood who were riding bikes, because my scooter was tiny compared to them, but I could also go just as fast as they could. In 2021, she got a new name when I did the complete mechanical rebuild, and now her name's Phoenix.
Oh, I love that.
Canonically, she's trans, actually, because I originally conceived my scooter as a male.
Oh, okay.
And now...
How did you find out about the transition? How did that news come to you?
He transitioned her.
Yeah, you transitioned.
It sounded like she told you what her identity was. Am I wrong about that?
Pretty much. Over the course of our time together, she became more or less a life partner type of entity to me.
Okay.
Because we went through basically everything. A multi-state move, a breakup, going to college, and then ending up having to leave college for a period of time. That was really hard. But she was with me through all of that.
And is this relationship romantic at all, or should we be concerned? Or
romantic as in? No, not really. I'm in a committed dating relationship with another lovely human being right now.
Perfect.
I think this is so beautiful, Ethan, Joe. I love that you, first of all, have taken this object and, for the environment, have kept it going, and that you have the skills to keep it intact and working, and that she means so much to you. And it just seems like you have a beautiful approach to the world. And I'm just so happy that you got nominated for this.
I know. Do you wear a helmet?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
A helmet is an imperative all the time.
What is her name?
As valuable as my scooter is to me, my head is more.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, good.
Well, so nice meeting you, Ethan. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations.
Give Phoenix all of our best.
Yes.
And be careful out on those roads,
Yes, keep wearing the helmet.
And I really wish the best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations. Okay.
Best mechanic. Best scooter mechanic.
We didn't really get into the repairing of it. There were so much more fascinating things to talk about.
Oh my gosh. What a cool dude.
Young man.
What a cool dude.
That was a Headgum podcast.